Even though it seems like the Galaxy Z Fold Special Edition is never going to leave China and South Korea, you're not going to be able to buy this thing directly in Europe or North America, I do think that it represents what the future of the Galaxy Z Fold line is going to look like. We also do need to keep in mind that we have some reason to think that there are indeed two Galaxy Z Fold 7 models in development once again, and that the fact that the second model is called Q7M instead of Q7A might mean it's not just the next version of the special edition. We could actually see a global launch for whatever this device is going to be. More details on that in a video in the description down below. I believe that whether it is in the Galaxy Z Fold 7 or it is in the Galaxy Z Fold Special Edition 2, a lot of the things, or at least some of the things that we are seeing in this special edition are going to make it stateside. They are eventually going to leave South Korea and China. Today we're going to look at one specific aspect of the Z Fold Special Edition that I think is exceedingly impressive, and it's something that I actually alluded to a bit in another prior video where we looked at another content creator's YouTube video showing the special edition. We're looking at the crease on this device. In this instance, this video was posted by Ice Universe. I will put a link to their Twitter profile down below, but for the purposes of this video, I have grabbed a couple of videos that they posted, and we're going to kind of go through them frame by frame, and what you're going to see is very, very impressive. Now, unfortunately, in this first bit, they are using a very light-colored screen, and unless you're really far off axis, you can't see the crease on any of these devices. But they do eventually kind of bring this thing into a position where you should be able to start to see a crease. And what you'll notice there is that it is very, very hard to see. I think right about there, you can just barely start to make out something going on in that area, but it is very, very minimal. If I grab my own Z Fold 6 and I try to kind of match that angle a little bit, I think it's pretty obvious how much more visible it is on the Z Fold 6 versus here on this special edition. This is very, very impressive. And if we push on and play a little bit further, it's going to only get more impressive because it's actually going to be compared to another device. Look at that there. I mean, again, that is a major improvement over what we currently have on the Z Fold 6. Now, I do want to tell you guys, I'm not like a big crease person. They don't really bother me at this point, okay? Typically, when you're looking at these devices straight on, you can't see them anyways, okay? It's only when you start going off axis like this that it becomes a quote-unquote problem. But I do know that for a lot of people, it is a problem. It does bother people quite a bit. I see it in my comments all the time. And another aspect of this is this speaks to improvements in the display technology, potentially, and also into the hinge technology as well. So for those reasons, it is still worth talking about. Here's a spot where as they turn it, some light actually hits the screen, and this really does a good job of sort of portraying that crease as well. In this next video, though, we finally get what we are looking for. The screens are off, which is going to make it much easier to see that crease, and it is being compared to the OnePlus Open, which has a crease that looks very different because instead of having like one sort of area, one area that is creased, it has like many little ripples, and you may like the way that looks, you may dislike the way it looks. More often than not, I feel like it looks less noticeable than what you have on the Pixel 9 Pro Fold or the Z Fold series of devices. If we roll forward here, you can see, compared to one another, this is very, very interesting. Could you potentially make the claim here that the Z Fold Special Edition has a less noticeable crease? I do want to say that it does appear like it is wider than the Z Fold 6. Let me see if I can do another comparison. So right there with my ring light hitting it, you can see that it is deeper and it is more narrow compared to the Special Edition, which does to my eye look to be wider but more shallow. Again, compared to the OnePlus Open, which is even wider than that, and it sort of has like many little rippled looking areas. I'd love to know what's going on there with their hinge design. In person, it tends to look very good though. If I grab my OnePlus Open and I try to bring it off axis in the same way I did my Z Fold a moment ago, you can see how much more difficult that is to see in person. Trying my best to give you a side-by-side of both devices there. I think that comes through relatively well. At any rate, though, you can see here that the special edition, the crease looks very different. But in terms of noticeability, it is absolutely holding its own, and that is extraordinarily impressive. Now, I do want to point out that with any of these foldable devices, when you first unbox them, the crease is never going to look as good as it does at that moment. The first time you fold it and open it back up, it's going to look a little bit more noticeable and a little bit more noticeable and a little bit more noticeable. It's going to hit sort of an end threshold where it's going to sort of be broken in, and it seems like once it hits that point, it pretty much just stays there. For me, that normally takes a couple of days and things have kind of settled down. So I do kind of want you to question this a little bit because we don't know how many times this device has been opened and closed. For all we know, it's brand new out of the box and has never been closed, right? We don't see it be closed in these videos. So it could degrade a little bit. But I will say that the Fold 6 never looked that good at any point. Brand new out of the box, it did not look that good. So I do think that this is encouraging. And like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, whether it is in the Z Fold 7 or it is in a Z Fold Special Edition, which does have a global launch as a Q7M device, I do think that we will see this sort of tech make its way into other regions. Samsung is finally beginning to make some progress with these devices. I think that there's a decent chance that we sometime very soon will see a Z Fold that is, with a wider cover display, a larger overall set of displays, and a much improved crease. Guys, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about this stuff in the comments down below. I'll see you on the next one, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.